Mr. Harvey, with all due respect, I don't think that decision is yours to make. I said, hey, homie, let me explain something to you.
One-on-one with Kris Fade, the podcast. You were homeless?
Yeah, I lived in a car for 3 years.
The star of our show, Steve Harvey.
Ain't no black kids got no white kids on their wall on the poster. Boy, I know I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that.
Rolling, 3, 2. Steve Harvey.
Yes, sir.
Man, so good to have you here.
Always, man. I've been looking forward to this, actually, man. You are such a big part of the fiber of this region, man. I said I want to go sit with him, man. I'm impressed. You got a heck of a setup here, man. Whew. This is major. I've been in radio a long time. I've been doing TV a long time. This is major setup, man. You ought to be proud.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this region it's come a long way, and it's what I always say. We used to take a lot of content from like the States and from Europe, but I think now is the time that this region, be it the Middle East, can also own that market of creating great content that can be shared with the rest of the world.
Well, you know, the misconception is that the greatness comes from the West. That's a misconception. See, if you really understood how this works, Hollywood specializes in one thing. We don't really think of anything. We go to MIP, we go to Cannes, the TV festival, and we buy formats. American Idol is not an American show. X Factor is not an American show. You know, America's Got Talent, this is not an American show. These are formats that were created in other regions. What Hollywood does is we go to MIP, we buy the format, then we bring it to Hollywood, we dust it off, rename it, and we sprinkle that Hollywood dust on it, which we do better than anybody else. Then we take it and we sell it back to y'all. that's gangster, man.
The greatest scam ever. What are you talking
gangster.
about?
We sell all of this back to the UK, to China, to Africa. We sell it back when actually we bought the format from them.
You do it, I'm not going to say, I mean, maybe better. I think you do it better. You do it in a different style. Now,
right.
Why do you think America does that?
Well, we've got more practice at it. And we do have the ability to put that Hollywood dust on anything. You know, look, man, and plus we got, our television market is 354 million people.
Huge.
And we have this thing called Hollywood, and Hollywood is very real. Now, it's losing some because of technology now. You know, you can get famous on YouTube. You could get famous on Instagram. It used to be you had to go to Hollywood to get famous. That's no longer the case. But it's still the Mecca. Hollywood is still Hollywood. And we've had a lot of practice at making movies and stuff like that. And the rest of the world is catching up to that now. But we did silent films, Charlie Chaplin and all of that, and we just kept improving on it. And now because of anime and animation, other people are catching on now. So
when you say Hollywood, and when I say Hollywood, what does that reside with you? Is it because, you know, I speak to some people that are in the Hollywood scene, and some of them are like, oh, I don't want to be in the Hollywood scene anymore. It's not for me. Do you?
Well, I'm out of it completely. We don't even shoot Family Feud in L.A. anymore. We shoot that in Atlanta. I'm not the Hollywood type. I was out there trying to make it. I did a lot of TV in Hollywood, but I never fit into the Hollywood mold. You know, you never saw me at all the Hollywood parties, and you don't see me on all the red carpets. The red carpets aren't bad. You got to go to promote your films and go to award shows, but I kind of started looking at the business in terms of rewards instead of awards. And I don't care that they invite me to the award show. Just give me my check. I just want the reward, and then I'll figure it out. And then, by the grace of God, I became globally famous. I'm more of a global factor than a Hollywood factor now. So I use that as I travel. And so it's a little different from me needing Hollywood.
Did you make that choice of wanting to stay out of the Hollywood parties and events and all that? Was that a choice because you felt like, hey, that's probably not where I want to be?
Yeah, that's a conscious decision. You know, my brand is different. I got to protect my brand. If you participate in Hollywood, they're going to destroy your brand. I mean, look, we got enough as it is with all of the social media platforms. Social media is such the devil's playground now. They don't care nothing about the truth. They don't care nothing about facts. They just care about clicks and views. And they'll do anything to get a click and a view, even at the demise and happiness of your family. They'll destroy your family. They could care less. And so my father used to always say, don't give them a pen to stick you with. So if you play in the Hollywood game, you're going to give them the pen to stick you with. If you're at all the Hollywood parties, they're going to take your picture in an uncompromising position, even at the wrong angle, and they're going to put a caption with it. So I never wanted to be in that. I wanted to, my brand was different. You know, I'm a family guy, you know. I love my family, I really do. You know, I ain't been the best all the time, but, you know, I still loved them.
And any regrets? You said not being the best. Do you have any regrets?
You know, look, I made a lot of mistakes as a father. You know, you don't get a manual with parenting. I made mistakes with my sons. I used to sit them all down and group them together. And if one of them messed up, I brought them all in the room so they could learn the lesson from him. And I grouped my sons together and tried to teach them my way of growing up, which was crazy because my way of growing up is the very thing that I've worked so hard that they didn't have to have. You know, my sons didn't have to grow up fighting. I grew up scrapping, man. I've been thumping since I was a little boy. We fought.
Was that just to protect yourself? Like
Yeah,
you needed to do it to survive?
Bro, I had to walk to school every day. Now, to walk to school, I got to go across different territories. You got little gangs. You had the Jets, the Esquires, the Pee Wee Marquis, the Delamores, Devil Disciples, Royal Noble Prophets. You got to walk across these gang territories to go to school. And, you know, back then it was just fist fight. Somebody had a stick or a bat. Nobody shot and killed you back then. These people now, man, in America, they different. So I wanted my sons to not have that life, and so I worked really hard. My sons didn't have to fight to go to school. They didn't have to walk to school. They got cars and drove and rides. I tried to give them a different life, but I grouped them all together. I've just learned that they're very much individuals. And we have a great relationship now because I learned how to treat them individually. My daughters, that's been a whole nother experience, man, because I've just been the gatekeeper. When they were at home, I could protect them from boys, but now they live on their own. I can't protect them no more. But if I don't like you for my daughter, I'm gonna get rid of you. You're gonna go away. I'll visit you.
You know what? I got two daughters who are 16 and 14.
Ooh.
And I'm at that point now where I'm like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence knocking on the door of Bad Boys, like when they come through. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to find that solace or that line of letting them know I'm protecting them and I'm going to be them and I'll protect them and I'll beat the dude down if I need to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want them to have that like love and that trust for me to be able to talk to me about certain things.
Yeah, that line gonna get blurred.
Okay.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to fix that.
Okay.
Because your number one job is their protector.
And they don't know. I'm telling them now, like every guy that you meet is trying to do one thing with you.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm trying to like let them know at this age.
And that's exactly what's happening. Because that's the only way they get to prove that to their friends that they're a boy, they're a man, is somebody's daughter. My daughters have some gatekeepers. They got 3 brothers and they got a daddy. And we gonna make it real hard for you, partner. And when our daughters is not looking, we're going to pull you to the side. We're going to have a separate conversation with you. I had a boy one time told me, I said, look, man, I don't really think you're right for my daughter. This dude told me, he said, Mr. Harvey, with all due respect, I don't think that decision is yours to make. I said, hey, homie, let me explain something to you. That gate you came through down there, everything on this side of the gate belonged to me, including her. Now, let me show you how this is going to work. Your car can never come on this side of the gate again My daughter is not allowed to walk outside the gate to get in cars. So now let's start there. And secondly, he said, well, Mr. Harvey, I'm going to continue to see her. I said, there ain't no problem. Then I'm going to have you killed. Ain't no problem.
You just told him that publicly?
Yeah, I just told him that.
You were like, okay.
Yeah.
And then how did that go from there?
Yeah, he broke up.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want to die.
So is that the because it's crazy. We had a couple of boys come over to the house the other day, and I did exactly that. Not to that extent, I'm going to have you killed, but I brought them to the side when my daughters weren't around. I said, yo, if I see any of these doors closed in my house, if any of the doors are closed, I want all doors open. If they are, I'm going to do some things that you're not going to like.
Right.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Fade, no problem, Mr. Fade. I've got you, Mr. Fade. But
that's right.
I just wanted to put that authority in. But some parents would say that I'm parenting wrong now. Like, that's not what you should do.
That's the only way you can do it. See, the boy that comes to your house for your daughter has to understand that there's some accountability here. And that's what the father and the brothers is for. See, daughters that don't have dads in their lives, that's a misfortunate, just like a boy that don't have a dad. But you're the gatekeeper, and there's a sense of boys treat girls better when they know somebody behind them gonna hold them accountable. And you telling him ain't no doors shut. Now look, I've had more mild incidents. I haven't just started with I'll have you killed. I didn't just start with that.
It's not the opening line.
Yeah, that ain't the opening line.
Okay. Mental note, okay.
All of them get the same conversation. Look, man, you can break up with my daughter, you can ghost her, you can stop calling her, and you can stop texting her. You can want to have nothing else to do with her. That's fine. But you cannot put your hands on her. If you do that, I am going to find you, and I am going to do some things to you that are just ungodly. I'm not going to kill you because I don't want to go to prison. But you're gonna suffer. You can't hit my daughter because I've never hit my daughters. I've knocked my sons out before. I've tried to take them to several near-death experiences. But my daughters, I've never put my hands on my daughters because I didn't want them to equate a man's love with physical abuse. But the boys that come to your house, they have to be able to go back to school and go, hey, what's your daughter's name?
Zara.
Zara Fade's daddy is crazy.
Yeah.
You know the dude on the radio? That's not who he really is. In real life, it's something wrong with Zara daddy. See, that's got to go back up to the school.
That's what I want. That's exactly. Yeah. It's crazy that you said that because I'm sitting here with you right now, and this is the first time we've really, we've been able to spend a few hours together before this, but I know Steve Harvey as the funny guy, the motivational man, the guy on the radio, Family Feud, the family guy. But as I sit here and I watch you and you're talking, I'm pretty scared. Like I am intimidated, and that's what I feel who I am sometimes. Like I'm the family guy, I'm the radio guy, but like you cross me, especially with my daughters. Bro. They're my everything.
Family's off limits. Man, like you can talk about me online all you want. I don't care. But when you bring my daughters and my wife into it,
sure,
I find you. I've tracked several guys down online who've made derogatory statements about my wife and my daughters, one of my daughters, and I'll find you. I'll have a conversation with you. Hey, look, man.
You really found, like you really?
Yeah. See, all that old fake account and private account, that ain't nothing right there. If people know how to decode all that. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to call you. And me and you going to have a conversation about, you can say whatever you want to say to me. I don't care, man. Steve Harvey, he's soft. Steve Harvey, I don't care, whatever you want to say. But once you talk about Marjorie or them girls of mine, my sons, they can take care of themselves. I raised good dudes. They strong, they in shape. They'll be physical if they have to. We from America, so this is not the UAE. If there's a time that you're gonna have to be physical in the States, that's just the law. That's the jungle. That's it. Not so much over here. I've seen some incidents over here come close, but I've seen a couple fights break out at UFC fights, and Russian boys got in a fight with some Turkish boys, and
It's very rare to see a
Yeah.
physical altercation here in this country.
very, very rare.
Yeah.
In the States, that's every day.
Yeah.
So, you have to be prepared to protect yourself at least. But as far as being like intimidating to boys towards my daughters, and you should be. And that's your job.
Point taken.
And it's all good,
I want
man.
them to think I'm crazy. I am crazy, all right?
You
I
are,
am crazy.
You are. Like I can tell there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Steve.
you're not
There is.
balanced really well.
Well, they say all radio people are a bit crazy. Do you feel that?
See, you got your hair cornrowed, and then it's in a knot in the back, and you got a real shaped up beard, and you in shape. So this ain't the medicated cotton dude you think it is. You got some people as soft as medicated cotton. That's not you. You really like do y'all have SOS Brillo pads over here?
No, what's an SOS Brillo pad?
SOS Brillo pad is this thing you buy to scrub your pots when it's been charred at the bottom. If you leave a skillet on the fire too long, you can't just get it out with
It's like the wire brush. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
aluminum or
That's
it's like
you. Yeah, that's what you are.
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what you are. And that's what you have to be. That's okay.
I'm 45 now. And I've been recently, I've been telling some friends, and I've spoken about it on the show as well here, that I've had a new kind of, not new look in life, but I sit myself at 65 and I say, would 65-year-old Kris Fade want to do what I'm going to do? Or would he regret not doing it? And I'm saying yes to a lot more things. What I mean by that is I've been working a lot. And I feel like you work, and you've been working your entire life. I feel like you don't stop working, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing, but I know that I need to have more pockets of joy and more pockets of just me. Do you have that? Have you found that? Someone that I look up to like yourself in what we do and what you've done.
I just had this conversation recently, man. Somebody asked me what makes me happy. And I can answer that question for you. What makes you happy is when you see the looks on your children and your wife's face off of what you've provided for them.
Yeah.
That makes you happiest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it, bro. Lock in, learn to love that, because that's it.
But you were never putting Steve Harvey first.
Nah, you can't. It ain't how it works. How you gonna put Steve Harvey in front of your kids? How you gonna put Kris Fade in front of your wife? It don't work like that, man. That's who we are. We men. This is the heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's the crown we got. You can forget this. Looking for happiness, you ain't, bro. Yeah. Hey man, if you go fishing, like I'm happy when I'm fishing.
Okay.
I'd like to say I'm happy when I'm playing golf, but too many times that ball don't go where I want it to go, so there's a lot of unhappy moments out there, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy smoking cigars. Now, my doctors have taken me off cigars, and I'm putting myself back on them because I just don't.
Why? Your doctor said don't smoke the cigars, and you're just gonna.
Well,
It brings you happiness.
yeah, man, it's moments of peace, because I don't know as men how we find happiness, because all my happiness always been tied into other people and what I provide for them. Like my wife's face when I give her something for her birthday or for Christmas or anniversary, because you get the same anniversary, but you don't get the same gift. Valentine's Day coming, what you finna get? You don't get nothing for Valentine's Day. The anniversary comes, she gets a gift. You get nothing. You get nothing.
She is the gift.
Bro. Your kid's birthday, you make a big deal out of, they want parties. They'll give you something for your birthday, but like Father's Day, it's not the same as Mother's Day. It just ain't, man.
Why? Is it because we're men and we don't need to be celebrated? Like, I celebrated my birthday for the first time this year. I don't usually do my birthday. I don't want to do my birthday.
Right.
I always tell my wife, I don't want to do a birthday. My whole life is about going to parties and attending things, and
Right.
I don't want to do it. I'm already got enough
Right.
attention.
Right.
And then she said to me this year, I want to throw you a birthday party. And I said to her, okay, go, do it. I had a great time.
Wow.
And I kind of was like, I should have celebrated my birthday over the years because I had a really, really good time. And I realized all my friends and family were in that room, and it was a moment of joy. It was a moment of and that's what brought me joy, maybe what you were thinking, because I saw other people being happy, right? But is there ever going to be a point in someone's life?
Guess who paid for that birthday?
Yeah, but but it was fun. It was fun. I had a good time.
Guess who paid for it though?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's all your happiness
Yeah.
is tied into your ability to provide for other people.
Sure.
I've been trying to wash that away, Fade, and come up with another way to put it, but it just ain't one, man. I can't. And it's okay, because that's manhood. That's what it is. I had my first birthday I've ever celebrated was my 60th. Bruh.
Why did you wait till you were 60 to celebrate?
Because I ain't really, I get a cake. When my mom was living, no matter where I was, she would make me a German chocolate cake and ship it to me.
So a German?
German chocolate cake.
I've never, what's the...
It's the best cake on planet Earth. I can't describe it. It's coconuts, it's chocolate, it's a caramel cream, it's pecans, it's crazy. It's German chocolate cake, my favorite cake. And so my mom died when I was 40. So I never got a cake again until I married Marjorie. And she said, what have you wanted for your birthday? And I said, a German chocolate cake. She said, I know how to make one. And I said, okay, this is not going to be good. And I said, this is going to be the worst thing. And the most amazing thing, she and her mother's German chocolate cake recipe was the exact recipe my mom used.
Joking.
And so all of a sudden, I had a German chocolate cake again. And she would ask me for parties, or Steve, you want to a party? Nah. So my 60th birthday was the first party I ever threw. It was a big party, it was on a yacht, it was out of the country. All my kids came, and a few friends of mine came, some really, really close friends. And man, that was the dopest I've ever had. I was really, really happy about that. But I paid for that.
Did you get the German chocolate cake on the yacht?
You sure did, baby.
When someone is thriving to be quote unquote successful, when do you stop? Because you have, I'm pretty sure, all the money you've ever needed. I'm pretty sure you're good, but you're still filming Family Feud. You're still doing the radio show. You're still doing deals here in the UAE. I just saw you did a huge deal in Qatar. Why?
Well,
why doesn't Steve Harvey just be like, hey, I've done it. Here I am. I'm going to go in, play golf, smoke cigars. The doctor told me not to do it, but I'm going to smoke it and just do nothing. Like, what is it? Because I feel like I want to understand that as a man. I want to understand that.
I don't, man, the Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. So, like you ever see, like a lot of people retire and then they wither away.
Yeah.
Because there's no vision, no dream, there's no purpose to waking up. I don't know, and you're not going to be able to do it because you're too much. You're like me. People who are driven are driven. You can't be undriven. You can't all of a sudden not want to do your best. Like, for me, it's not the money, it's the purpose. And I'm more in the purpose section of my life now. I have a saying. I said, your career is what you paid for. Your calling is what you're made for. And I'm in the calling phase of my life. My mentoring program for boys and girls, my programs I do for youth, the amount of kids I send to college. I mean, my wife and I were sitting around talking to our foundation director the other day, man. And I looked at how many kids, man, life we had affected, and it put tears in my eyes. Here's my favorite story is about 4 years ago, a kid came to my mentoring camp that I throw for boys who come from fatherless homes. For whatever the reason, the dad ain't active in their life. They're raised by their mothers. 4 or 5 years ago, this kid come to the camp, straight F student. I mean, failing in everything. And my camp is geared around two things: the principles of manhood and how to make your dreams come true. Nobody had ever asked this kid what he dreamed of being. That's the problem with schools. They don't ask a kid what they dream of. They tell them, you got to take this course, this course, this course, and you'll graduate. Well, graduate for what? Mama, why don't somebody ask me what I'm dreaming of being? Because that's what it becomes infectious to me. So I said, if you could be anything you could be, what would you be? He said, I want to fly airplanes. And so I invited a pilot down, a friend of mine that flies for Delta. And he says, hey man, what kind of grades you got? He said, I get Fs. He said, well, buddy, you can't fly an airplane unless you're good at science and math. So he took him to the airport in Atlanta, Hartsfield, and put him on a flight simulator and let him sit in the cockpit on a flight simulator and fly an airplane. That kid came back, went to school, got straight A's. He graduates high school. I said, hey man, what do you want to do? He said, I want to be a pilot. I paid for him to take flight lessons, to send him to pilot school. 3 years later, he's the keynote speaker at my camp. He flew a plane to the private airstrip, landed it, got in the car, and came and talked to the kids and filmed the whole thing. Dr. Field did a whole story on this kid. That's the effect I want to have now on people. And you can't run out of money and do that. I just need to keep making money so I can keep sponsoring programs and doing stuff for kids. Because, my father told me something a long time ago that stuck with me, Fade. He said, because we had nothing growing up, man. My father said, son, the best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. And I remembered that. I've been trying real hard not to be one of them. It's hard for me to be poor because I found out I'm allergic to poverty. I start itching. You ever been like sitting around and just be digging and you don't know what's wrong? It could be poverty. I was allergic to poverty and it made me itch severely. And so once I got some money, I stopped itching.
You haven't itched for a while, I hope. I mean, Dad would have seen the success?
Yeah, he saw it.
And did that make you proud? Because I know, we came from a medium family, infrastructure back in Australia, but there's nothing more proud for me to being able to fly my parents first class over here and just giving them that feeling as a son is for me, I think, one of the greatest feelings that I felt, Yeah.
And that was everything for me.
Just,
both my parents are gone. But it was my greatest joy was to see me become successful. I was on TV before they passed. I had TV shows. I mean, it's crazy, man. Like my father came to all my stand-up shows. I'd fly him and my brothers out to see me do stand-up, Kings of Comedy, all of that. My mom never came to see me because my mom was saved, a Sunday school teacher, Christian. She didn't ever want to see her boy using profanity. My dad had no problem with that.
Your mom did not come to your shows because she knew that you were going to be putting some profanity down.
Yeah. Wow. And I was not allowed to use profanity in front of my mother. That was my father's number one rule to me and my brothers. Wow. You cuss all you want, but you better not cuss in front of your mama. You know your mama Christian, she's saved, she loved the Lord. So me and my brothers could never cuss in front of my mother. So my mother never came to see me because she didn't want to hear me cussing. So she never saw me live. She saw all my TV shows, but she never saw me live. Because my dad sit there right there on front row hollering, throwing paper at me, laughing so hard.
I mean, that must have been an epic moment to have your father sitting there laughing.
Man, it was one of the great moments for me, man, was to be able to provide for them, give them stuff they never had. Paid their house off. I bought them a house in Texas, flew them out there. They didn't even want the house. Who gonna live in this house right here? My mother said, well, where's my church at? I can't go to church down here. My daddy didn't like it because it was in a dry county. They didn't sell alcohol. So my daddy he's through with this here. Because he got to be able to walk to the liquor store and buy his liquor. So I had to sell that house and put them back in the house in Cleveland. I paid that one off and fixed it up for them. But, you know.
They did not want the house that you bought for them in
No.
Texas because it wasn't close to the church or the liquor store. Wow.
Period.
Two so different reasons, right?
My mama can't go to church. My daddy can't buy liquor. Why we down here? That was the craziness, man. Because my mother, she taught me faith, prayer, faith. My father taught me how to be a man. My daddy was a hoodlum, man. Rough dude, man. Just fought. My father taught me how to fight. My brothers taught me how to fight. My father was hard. Never once talked to me about God. Never mentioned God. Never talked to me about prayer, nothing. Cut my hair, make me go to church with my mother. My mother was all faith. So that faith and toughness was the combination I needed. So when I bought them the house, my mama can't get the house because she can't go to her church. And my mother was a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. And my daddy didn't like the house because there wasn't no liquor store. So.
And then how your career, how did it all like really, were you the funny kid at school? Like, were you that?
It was a dry humor that I had. I used to say stuff under my breath, and everybody around me be cracking up. But I was never, like when I was in school, I was voted most difficult because I didn't really like people.
You weren't the entertainer. You weren't the.
Oh, no, not at all. I didn't do that till I went to college, and I started blossoming. But I went to college for two reasons. I went to college to be famous and to be rich.
And
when I found out after about 8 weeks I wasn't going to get famous down here, I took an economics class because I got to figure out how to get rich. So I'm in this class about 4 weeks, man. Front row, taking notes, taking economics. So one day after the class, I asked the professor, I said, hey, man, can I talk to you after class? He said, sure you can. He said, you sit there on the front row, you take notes, you're getting good grades on the pop quizzes. What can I do for you? I said, hey, man, that's good. We've been doing all this here for 4 weeks. When you going to get to the part to tell us how to get rich? He said, excuse me? I said, when you going to get to the part to tell us how to get rich? He said, son, you don't take economics to get rich. You take economics to learn the terminology and the way finances work.
yeah,
I said, I'm at the wrong college.
checked out.
I got to check out of here. So wasn't soon after that I flunked out of college because I didn't leave college. I flunked out, academic pro. I lost complete interest. I'm not going to be famous and I'm not going to be rich. Why am I here? Because them the two things I got to do. I got to find a way to get famous and so I could get rich. That was all I knew, man. So college was a disaster.
So then you left college, and then how did the entertainment business start for you? Did you just stand
It wasn't
up,
right
or?
away, brother. I was 21 when I left college. I was married at 24. I had twins at 25.
Wow, so young.
Oh, I shouldn't have been nobody's husband. I was the worst, man.
You've 2 divorces, right?
Yeah.
Were you the fault? Were you the problem?
Yeah.
You've seen that.
No, I know that. The first time, I shouldn't have been nobody's husband. I was too young. I didn't know how to cope with her mother. I didn't know what was going on. You know, I had her talking to me. I had an in-law. I was going, who was these people? And the in-law, really didn't understand her talking to me. Why you in this? Then she had a brother that came over to the house one day to jump on me for some reason. I don't know what he was. And I don't know why he thought he could whoop me. I had no idea why this little fat boy thought he could whoop me. I handled him so fast. I splashed his mouth open, and then after that, they all hated me. You jumped on my brother. You beat my son. He came to my house to jump on me.
He didn't know that you were a boxer?
Yeah, but I don't know how he figured out what he thought.
And you don't remember why he came over?
He said that I should be making more money and his sister shouldn't be living like this. Well, I live here too. It ain't like I'm trying. I want to do better. So he came over to tell me that, that's what he thought and that he was going to move his sister and my kids out the house. Okay, cool. Well, that ain't going to happen. And then he pushed me, and then he spit on me.
That was enough.
I'd have dealt with the push, but the spit, nah, just went on. So I fixed his mouth where it didn't spit no more. Just fixed it, blew it up.
So and with your second marriage, I'm divorced, by the way. I was divorced once.
Yeah.
I'm remarried.
Well, the second time I got married, I was homeless, and she had an apartment. As soon as I found out, I was in love.
You were homeless.
Yeah, I lived in a car for 3 years, and I met her at the end of that. That's how I didn't become, because she had an apartment. So as soon as I found out she had an apartment, I said, I love you. Yeah, you have a house. Yeah, I'm living in a car. I lived in a car for 3 years.
So during those 3 years, would you see your kids?
I didn't see my kids for a year and a half one time, because when I left Cleveland to pursue comedy, I was 27, October 8th, 1985, I went to a comedy club and won amateur night. I won $50. The next day, October 9th, 1985, I quit my job. This October 8th was 40 years for me, 40 years in the business. I went to work the next day and quit my job. So I went home and told everybody, I quit my job, I'm gonna go be a comedian. The light bulb went off. This is a great moment. I discovered what I'm gonna do with my life. Everybody shot that down. So my ex said, if you leave here, well, my mother-in-law said, if you leave, don't ever come back. And so, I went on tour. I had a 13-week tour I got booked.
And this is when you were in the car. You're driving yourself around.
I'm making $50 a night. So I got to send all this money home, so I ain't got no money left. So I don't, and this went on for 3 years. Of a little bit of money I was making, I just sent it all to my wife and kids, and I just kept $30, $40 for gas, and I just lived in the car and ate while I was still going around touring, trying to get famous. And I went back home, and the house was boarded up, never saw them, went over to my mother-in-law's house. She wouldn't tell me where they were. So I didn't see them for a year and a half. And
that's hard. That's hard as a father because...
Yeah, and I'm out here trying to...
do your thing and...
trying to get it, but it was my fault. I handled it wrong. I should have did it another way, man. I really, it wasn't her fault. I take full blame for that. So we ended up getting a divorce. I met this second wife that had an apartment, fell in love with her, and a key. I really fell in love with the key to the house. That was very important to me.
Yeah, because I've never been homeless, far from it. So I can't imagine not having a place to go home to. And
Bro, do you know, it's like when I see people who lose their homes in a fire, like fire sweep the countryside, maybe a house. Do you know what it's like at night to not be able to say, I'm going home?
yeah.
Bro, you gotta have somewhere to go where you can recharge. And for 3 years, man, I ain't have I just lived in a car. It's not the same thing. It's like going, getting your car is not home. I ain't got no TV, there's no bathroom, there's no living room. I'm just in the car. And that was painful, man. So I ended up moving in with this girl, and then we ended up getting married, and it was just a bad decision, man. I just take the blame for that one too, because, I should have.
Not.
Yeah, I should not. But my youngest son is from that marriage. And all the rest of my kids were from the first marriage. And so my youngest son was from that marriage. And that dude was worth it. He was worth it. Yeah. He lives here now.
Calls the UAE home.
Yeah, he lives here now.
I think, well, that's, my daughters are from my first marriage, and we ended in pretty, not great terms. We're okay now, but it was pretty bad. But there's no regrets when you look at your kids and you go I'd go through all of that again.
Yeah.
To have these.
To get that.
Yeah.
It was worth it. Now, when it's happening, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just crazy. I don't recommend divorce to nobody.
I say the same thing. I said, unless you really have to go through that divorce, if you've tried everything and it's not going to work, don't do it. As in, do all you possibly can not to have a divorce, right?
Yeah, really, man, because it's an ugly, ugly situation. But then at the same time, if you made a mistake, you just got to eat it now. Look, we both made a mistake. You shouldn't be married to me, and I shouldn't be married to you. Now we're not finna stay married. No, we're not finna do that. Because I would rather, man, I used to drive up to the house and sit in the car for 2 hours in front of the house, just looking at that door. I didn't want to go in there, man, because I knew it was going to be hell on the other side of the door. And when I went in there, she ain't never let me down. She did not disappoint. Oh, you thought it was hell? Here it comes. And she let me have it. But I learned from that, man. I learned from that. And sometimes you got to get it wrong to get it right, you know.
And then you met Marjorie, and
Man,
you
ball
realized
game.
this is what it was meant to be, and this is how it should have been, and this is what real love is, and human connection and companionship. Is that how it feels?
Game changer, man.
Yeah.
Game changer. And you know then. But sometimes people like us, you got to get it wrong to get it right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, man, if you're a woman and you're in a relationship and your intuition is telling you this ain't right, get out. Get out. Because God gave women this thing called intuition. Man, I wish I had it. Because men, we don't have it.
We're stupid, though. I
Yeah.
feel like we're just, I always say, man, we're stupid. Like,
Bro, you ain't never lied.
Yeah.
Fade, we stupid. That's
we're not stupid.
Women have intuition. We're stupid.
Yeah.
Because we think. Two body parts think for us.
100%.
A lower part and an upper part. And both of them parts think for us. And one of them is completely stupid. He is down here making decisions based on purely just looks, and he ain't taking nothing into consideration. He's an idiot. And
Yeah.
If you listen to him, if you listen to the lower part of your body, you're going to make some damaging decisions. And you've got to get this part in control. The problem is the other one is very powerful.
So how do you, as a man, give advice to another man about the two making the decision?
Pray that you get old before you kill yourself. Hey, bro, it just comes with age, man. It really does, man. I wish I could tell a young cat, no matter what you tell him, he has to get them two synced up. And they're not going to sync up till you get older because they got to make some stupid decisions. Like this brain of mine has made some stupid decisions. But the lower section of me, this dude right here, whew, I've actually said to him, you need to go somewhere and sit down.
Literally.
Literally, sit down. Shh, be quiet. Stop looking over there. That's not for you. You know, conversation. And until you get older, you're not really going to understand that. So for all the young guys out there that's dealing with it, do your best, man. But
Survive.
Yeah, and hopefully, if you're a good guy, you'll survive it. It's the bad guys that don't survive it. You know, if you're not trying to be cruel or unkind to people, if you're not trying to be abusive or use people, by the grace of God, you will survive that era. I've tried to raise my son to at least be gentleman. Be a gentleman. Be fair. You know, don't talk to women that way. Treat women with kindness and respect. If you're that guy, you'll survive that area. Most of us do. And then if you're not that guy, you won't survive that area. He's in prison right now because you've been Puffy. You've been watching it. You turn into Puffy. If you don't respect it, you're going to do some time. You understand? And he was old enough to really get it together, but he didn't.
Why do you think that with Diddy? Is it because you're living a life where there are no boundaries? You get whatever you want whenever you want. You've done everything you possibly have, and there are no boundaries. So you just keep going further and further?
Yeah.
Is that why you think?
Yeah, you have to, like I said, you have to practice acts of kindness. You've got to be a gentleman through it all. I'm not saying, look, man, this dude's going to have more than one chick. Okay, cool, I got that right there. But you don't have to be abusive with it and abrasive with it. And like, you know, Puffy was doing all this, but boy, let me tell you something, man. And he was getting away with a lot. But when that video came out,
The one in the hotel room, you mean?
bro, that's like you sitting there going, wait a minute, hold up, man. What you doing? I mean, bro, for you to be a public figure, wrap a towel around yourself and run down a public hallway, not knowing who's at that elevator. It could have been other people at the elevator. But you go around there and there's no one at the elevator, and that's your reaction to this girl? Yo, bruh. So now, that's what we caught on tape. That's the one that's on tape. That's the one that's out in the public in front of the elevator. My goodness, what's been going on when you ain't in front of the elevator? Now you know it's got to have been magnified back there. So now you're just not a good person. You know, man, you can't run it like that, because now you got to pay. And the thing about sin is, sin costs you more than you want to pay, and it make you stay longer than you want to stay. And that's what he in now. And he had the power to do whatever you want to do, but just because you can do something don't mean you should. You got money. I have some money. But, bruh, I take this money home. This ain't the time to spread it all over Dubai. No, that ain't how it works, man. And then you get to have this life that you have because you played within the rules. You were a decent guy. Kris Fade is a decent guy. It's no way you get to this level and you're not a decent guy. You're not mistake-free, but you're a decent guy. You know, you've asked God for forgiveness. You know, you've said, I'm sorry to some people. Yeah. You've apologized. That's how you get through life. If you don't do that, man, you got to go to prison.
I think you hit the nail on the head. As a man, when I see another man lay a hand on a woman, for me, that is the lowest, because I feel like it's a reflection on us. We're men. We should never lay a hand on a woman.
Right.
Be it even verbally or physically, are both horrible. So when I saw that video as well, I've met Diddy before, and he came out to Dubai, and we kind of partied here, and very charismatic, a great guy. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and when it was all happening, and then when I saw that video, like you did, that was when it was like, out.
You as a man looking at that video, you going, yo, hold up, man.
Yeah.
Because I know some real tough dudes.
Yeah.
I got some friends, man, that's been gangsters the whole time they've been alive. They old gangsters now. They saw that video and went, yo, man, he tripping.
Yep.
What's the matter with old boy right here? Steve, what's up with this dude? Hey, man, we need to put some hands on him.
Did you ever have a relationship with him? Did you ever cross paths?
I mean, I knew him, yeah. But we've never been that type of dude. It was some things that I had heard about that kept me away from. You know, I got invited. Hey, man, we throwing a party. Nah. See, you don't see me nowhere.
Smart.
You don't see me. My brand different. I'm not going to your party. I don't go to the white party, the blue party, the pink party, the panty party. I ain't at nobody's party. Steve Harvey going home. You can't take my picture if I'm at home. Can't put me on TMZ if I'm at home. I go home. My wife don't have to wonder where I am. You know, I spent the night in Dubai last night so I could get up and do your show and be on time. I didn't want traffic.
Thank you.
And so, you know, we talked last night. She called me this morning when she wake up because she's an early riser. She get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm up. I'm sitting on the balcony having coffee. My wife don't have to look for me. I'm her husband. She don't have to look for me. I have to spend the night somewhere. She can call me. She ain't got to worry about nothing. I try to erase as much trick stuff out my life as I can.
Smart man.
Yeah,
I think more men have to be like Steve Harvey.
Well,
but it takes a while.
Yeah, just go home, dog. Just go home. You save yourself a lot of pain.
But the club's open. There's people there. Everyone's having fun. Don't go home.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something I taught my sons. We went to the McGregor-Floyd Mayweather fight.
Okay.
The fight's over. I see Sid at the T-Mobile Arena. He going upstairs with E40 and a couple guys. Now, the fight over, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I done saw the fight. Said, we're going to go upstairs. I said, no, go ahead, man. I'm going. So my sons, they're with me. They said, Dad, what you getting ready to do? You gonna go gamble? I said, no, it's 1:30 in the morning. I gamble all day. I'm gonna go to my room, get some room service. He said, Dad, you ain't gonna gamble at night? I said, dog, I had enough. He said, Dad, we're gonna go have some fun. I said, son, listen to this. I say, fun has a time limit to it. I say, every time I went somewhere to have fun, if I stayed too long, it wasn't fun no more. See, if you stay at the club till the club close, something gonna happen. If you go over a girl's house and she got a boyfriend, and you stay over her house too long, something gonna happen. If I'd have went upstairs with Said and E40 at the T-Mobile Arena, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Usually, stuff happen bad after 1 a.m. I don't know what it is, but after 1 a.m. And I hope I could say this on your show. I said, son, listen to me. Fun is an acronym. F-U-N. I said, if you stay too long, it's no longer fun. It's fucked up now. That's that's what fun stands for. If you stay too long, it's fucked up now. Huh. My sons went out that night in Vegas to a club. 4:30 in the morning, shots start ringing out. 2 people shot in the club.
Wow.
I'm only thanking God it wasn't one of my sons. The next day, we at breakfast. They said, Dad, man, you was right. We should have just went home. At 4:30, they started shooting. 2 people got shot. Mother, son said, yeah, it wasn't fun no more, Dad. It was fucked up now. And that's what I taught them. And now I hear my sons telling their other friends the acronym of what fun stands for.
I will be telling a lot of people. I didn't even think of that.
Bro, I made that up that night. So I just learned, man, just go home, bro. If you can learn that, you can save yourself a lot of pain.
What's something else you want to achieve that you haven't achieved yet? You've done pretty much everything. Is there anything else that's within Steve Harvey that you've gone, hey, I wouldn't mind doing this?
I want to globally build a bridge between Africa, the U.S., and the Middle East. That's the bridge I want to build, because that's the connection that has to be strengthened. African Americans don't know enough about their culture. The colonization of Africa has been done to them by Europeans. Maybe Africa need to start talking to the Middle East, because the Middle East really understands Africa. Because the Middle East, most of these countries like here, was in the position that Africa finds himself in today. That's the bridge. The only way I can think to do it is with young people. You're not gonna do it with old people. Old people are too set in their ways. Young people can change it. If we got friendships between African Americans, and let's say Emirati kids or kids from the UAE or over here from Saudi or over from Bahrain or from Qatar, and started forming those relationships where they could understand each other and start talking, form friendships, businesses, you'll change this world and the way it operates. Boys of color are the determining factor. People don't know what I know, man. White kids don't determine what's cool in this world. People of color determine what's cool. We decide how you wear your hair. We tell you how to dress. We tell you what music is hot. We tell you, ain't no black kids got no white kids on their wall on the poster. White kids got black kids on the wall on the poster. The cool factor is determined by people of color. That's the cool factor in every culture, period. Now, I don't have to bag down off what I'm saying. I have proof.
I agree.
Bruh, Taylor Swift cold now. Taylor Swift, one of the biggest pop stars in the world today. But them black girls, they got Beyonce on the wall. It's some cold European basketball players. But they got Kobe on the wall. They got Jordan on the wall. They got Magic on the wall. I'm sorry. Your hair's that way because of your color. We said bald was cool. Black dudes said bald heads was cool. And guess what got cool? Bald head. We said that. Because we can't do comb overs. Our hair fall out. We can't brush this over here, hide it. No. We zip this bad boy off. We made this cool. Michael Jordan. We made being bald cool. We said put earring in your ear. All the dances, everything. So if you want to change the culture in the world, you change them kids right their mindset, and you change the world. Everybody else gonna follow, man. Boy, I know I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that. Poof. God.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think you. No, not at all. I think it's. I mean, everyone's allowed to have their opinion, and I think your opinion stands. I kind of agree with it. I mean, growing up, I grew up in Australia. Like, I grew up watching Jordan playing, and like, he was cool, and he made me want to wear my clothes baggy, and I wanted to wear the same cap that Jordan was wearing, and Muggsy Bogues was the shortest player to play in the NBA, and he gave me a hint of maybe I can make the NBA one day. And I used to dress like Muggsy because he was cool, and the music that we listened to, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Ski low, like I'm in Australia, 15 hours away from America, but before the internet, but it resonated with me as an Australian Lebanese kid growing up. So I think what your statement is pretty true. As an African American, do you guys? You said you want to bring America and Africa closer together. Does an African American look at Africa as like home?
See, because the majority of them have never been there, they don't. But because I've been there, look, man, the first time I got off the plane in Africa, I couldn't even describe how I felt. It's like coming back home to a place you've never been. I never been to Africa until I went. I was a full-blown adult with children before I went to the continent of Africa. And when I got off the plane, I took a deep breath. I was home. For the first time in my life, I was not a minority.
That's cool.
Man, that's a crazy feeling, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've been black my whole life in America. I've been a minority. I got off the plane in Africa, and for the first time, I was not a minority. The police stop you in Africa, guess what? You get a ticket. You don't get beat. You don't get shot. You don't get handcuffed. You don't get arrested. You get a ticket. That's a new concept. See, you get stopped in America, that ain't the situation, partner.
Yeah.
It can go desperately bad, and you see it in the news all the time, and it's shocking to the rest of the world. How is this happening in America? Because it's been happening in America. We just got phone cameras now. This been happening, man. It's hard to be from there. It's hard to be from there. People don't understand. So if I can get more African Americans to go to Ghana for the year return that they had, if I could get them to go see Joburg, Durban, if I can get them to go to Botswana, if I could get them to go see Angola, if they could go see parts of Africa and understand, man, this is really where we from, it's a game changer. It really is a game changer. And then to come to the Middle East, where people don't treat you that way, because they got some color on them too. Yeah, it's kind of like, like if you come to Dubai, if you come to the UAE and you a bigot, you in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you got to hate everybody. There's 160 nationalities over here. If you a bigot, you walking in the mall in Dubai, you in trouble. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you too. I hate you too. I hate everyone. Yeah, guess what? Guess what? We here. We here.
It's funny because When I left Australia, I'm Lebanese by descent. We're Arabs, and in Australia, we're kind of stereotypical as being the gangsters and the drug dealers, the Lebanese, right? It's a minority, but they allowed. And I left Australia because I wanted to pursue a media career, and I felt like I was getting blocked.
Yeah.
I couldn't go any further because of my ethnicity. So I decided to pack up my bag. And when you said you went to Africa and you felt at home, when I landed in Dubai, I was like, it's my people. We got beards and
Yeah.
and we all kind of look the same, and this is who we are. And I did fine, and I felt at home. And it's crazy because I go to the States a lot because my wife is from there. And I remember when I went to New York about 4 years ago, and I was going up the Statue of Liberty. Hadn't been up the Statue of Liberty before. And I'm going through the security checkpoint. It's like going through an airport when you go up to the Statue of Liberty. And as I was going through, they're checking all the stuff, and the security guard or the policeman there goes, "You want to check that beard in?" And I remember laughing, and I went, "Ha." And then I was like, did he just say, "Should I check my beard in?" And I kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Inside of me, I wanted to be like,
Right.
what the F you just say to me?
Yeah.
But I didn't. So
Right.
by you saying, if you came here to Dubai and we have 160 nationalities living here, we live here all in harmony, and we live here and we respect each other's cultures and religions. And if more places had the ability of doing that, the world would be a better place.
For sure. For sure, man. It's hard, man. I've been black the whole time. I ain't getting no breaks, ain't getting no days off. I just been a black dude in America the whole time. There's nothing you can tell me about racism. You can't introduce me to nothing about racism. I had a conversation last year at my ranch with the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
Wow.
I had a conversation with him.
Why? How did that happen?
Well, I was making a purchase, and I just told the guy, you can say what you want to say to me, but my family's off limits. I just want you to know that. You can say Steve Harvey this, Steve Harvey that. You do whatever you want to do. Them wife, kids, and grandkids, they're off limits. I'm just letting you know that. So do what you want to do to me, but we don't hurt women and children. I don't care who you hurt. I'm just telling you right now, because the repercussions of, and I don't like putting that energy out there because I don't need it to happen, but you just can't do my wife and kids and grandkids. They're off limits, partner. And so but I've seen every level of racism. I'm watching America now. And what it's turning into, what it's going back to. We're taking backward steps in this country right now, man.
I agree.
The white supremacists are brazen now. They're empowered. They're coming out of the woodwork, man. And then, you got to be careful. And so, but to come here, man, is like utter relief for me. It's like I come here, man, in September, and I get to go. Yeah, cool. Like, I didn't have to factor in when I came up here, I'm a black dude going to do the Kris Fade show. I didn't have to factor that in. I ain't have to factor that in. Because I'm looking around the room.
We're all...
I don't know how many different countries in here. Ain't no... Where you from? South Africa, right there. Where you from?
Russia, South Africa.
See, we let her in here. We just let her in here. Russia. We finna talk to her, though. What's happening? Russia.
Get in there, Steve. You can sort it all out, man.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be the last time that we sit down and do this, man. It's the first time we've really connected. I utterly respect you as what you've done in your career, but just being able to spend some hours with you, man. You said it to me. I'll say it to you. You're a good person, and that's one of the reasons why you are the person that you are today, and your career has gone to the peak. You were at the peak of it. I need you to understand that. Out of all the media, TV presenters, radio presenters, entertainers, Steve Harvey, you're at the top. And that's because of the person that you are, I believe. I truly believe that. And that's me being able to witness that with the people that you interact with, from the person that was opening the door to making the coffee to our fellow radio presenters to myself. So I just want to say I'm grateful to have that time with you. And it's really special for me. So I just want to say thank you.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man.
God bless.
You're a good soldier, man.
Thank you, man.
You're at the top, too. Whew. This is gangster.
Steve Harvey, thank you.
Yeah.